We're coming on the air tonight. Milton, a catastrophic Category 3 hurricane, has just made landfall near Siesta Key, Florida. Now, this is a life-threatening situation with officials stressing if you did not get out, you need to be sheltering in place right now. This is a live look at the conditions.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Marketing 101 for Chiropractors. Milton just ripped through here, and lucky I still have power, and we are okay. But what a great thing to just get on the other side of and talk about in a podcast, just about storms in business and everything that can happen. This thing has taken a toll. I'll tell you what, our office is still out of power, but my wife was there this morning, power off, a little bit cooler temperatures here in Tampa, 75 degrees. We said, hey, anyone that has their appointments today in the books, you're more than welcome to come by. And I think we had like almost 20 people show up in the morning to come get adjusted and just get some stress relief. We're not taking payments. We're not taking chart notes. We're not doing any of that. We'll do that on Monday, hopefully, if we get power. But this Milton and Helene and Irma, I've been here for, this Canadian boys down here for 7 years and seeing this stuff go through. But it's amazing what it does. And if you survive and you get to look at the other side, what it does, it comes through, rips apart communities, and then people just bounce right back. The amount of support you get to prep, to get through it, and to get over on the other side is amazing. But how does this relate to business? It's usually the calm before the storm. Things usually run smoothly in business, and then we don't get the forecast sometimes in business. We don't get to prepare and be like, hey, in 5 days, this thing is coming. You better hunker down, like we did with COVID, where, my coaches were like 3 months in advance, 2 months in advance. Hey, you guys, there's this rumor that businesses may be shut down. And everyone's like, what? They can't do that. Well, we were a little bit warned if you listened. In business, sometimes you don't get the warning. Sometimes it's just the calm before the storm and then the hits. And, this can create a lot of stress. You can feel overwhelmed. It can impact operations, morale, of course, finances. It just brings physical destruction to your business. It can really do that. And the thing that we need to do with any storm, and I'm talking, metaphorically as far as business, I hope a hurricane doesn't come and rip up anything in your life, but the strategies of bouncing back is there's 3 solid strategies that I've seen just in the community. It's immediate response. Number 1 is, what is your response? And I'm going to tell you, if you sit in the corner and cry like me, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You got to be of support in your community. So you got to prepare for the storm, board up your business, do all these things. But like a business owner, you have to have a contingency plan in place. And what is that plan? Discuss things for emergencies in your business. And what happens if you go down? That's a hurricane. What happens if an employee leaves that's critical to your business? That's an issue. What happens if the power goes off for a while? That's an issue. You have to have these strategies in there so that you can have an immediate response to this. What reserves do you need in your capital account to make sure that this stuff can go through? What strategies do you have for off time, PTO, downtime, replacements? If you go down with a short-term disability, a broken shoulder, whatever it may be, what are these things? What are the immediate responses? What are the contingency plans that you have in place so that your business can keep running? That's what we talk about. And that's what we see in the community here is the immediate response. People taking out their boats, going down in flooded areas, helping people, taking down boards, getting food, getting shelter, getting supplies for people. Immediately, like neighbors helping neighbors. It's amazing. And you just want to be a part of that. It's pretty cool. Then it's cleaning the debris. And that's where we're at today. Today is Friday, October 11th. This is where we're at today, is we're cleaning up the debris, hence why this podcast is being launched a little bit later today. Had to wait for Wi-Fi to come back at our office or at our home. So we got this going. And what cleaning the debris is in business is it might be reassessing your priorities and fixing old mistakes and improving the systems that you have. That's cleaning up debris in business. So, for instance, if customer flow has slowed down for whatever reason, it could be time to revamp your marketing. Or if you've been stuck in a writer's block or a chiropractor block, or you just have lacked the motivation moving forward, this can be an opportunity to change that motivation and move forward. talking about the negatives, talking about how you're not succeeding, talking about how it's a struggle, talking about the grind all the time can put you into this hamster wheel of grind. And it sucks. That sucks. So by changing your mental state into the positive, being like, man, I'm lucky I get to come here every day and help people. I have a roof over my head that can help people. I have power supplied to here that I can help people. I have the equipment to help people. I've got the community to help people. You start to rechange that mental state. So cleaning up the debris can be both in business and in your mind to help you revamp what you need to revamp to move forward. And then once the debris is cleaned, rebuilding stronger. When you go through things, the ups and downs of business, it's always an opportunity to rebuild stronger. And I'm finding just in my short 7-year stint here in this business here in Florida, a chiropractic office, is that we spread so far, our fingers so far wide as far as offerings and things that we do, people, that we're starting to just being forced. The waters and the surge are coming up and just engulfing our business, and those things that we're not good at the outskirts that we left on the beach are just getting washed away. And the core foundation of our home is chiropractic. So we're being forced to go back to helping chiropractic and chiropractic only, like blare upper cervical to the world. Like I'm being just yelled at to just focus on that one thing. You've been doing all this other stuff, red light, weight loss, cold laser, trying to help people in many and vast different ways. But that's my calling. And then our office is like, yeah, we got to get back to these kids, man. So that's really cool. Now we get smacked in the face. So with Milton and Helene, and I'm just kind of sitting here today, 2 days forced off because of no power, thinking, yeah, we got to get back to the basics. So I hope this podcast just kind of motivates some of you out there too. And as a team in your office, discuss the importance of staying resilient, maintaining a growth mindset, and using adversity to fuel long-term success. You're going to get everyone on board on your team when you do that. It's just reiterating the mission and the vision that you have. Here's your chance. We're definitely going back to our mission and vision Monday morning and being like, listen, our mission is to serve as many families as possible that want the care, need the care in this community so that they live strong, healthy lives moving forward. Our vision is to grow this and help as many chiropractors do this in this community or neighboring communities and help at a grander scale. And that's through mentorship. That's through associates coming in and maybe opening up their own associates coming in and helping us in our endeavors to open up more, whatever it may be, building this team, building this army of people that are on that one mission. That's what it's all about. So as Milton came through and ripped through, it just gives you a chance to rebuild. It doesn't give you a chance. You have to rebuild. You have no other options. I had a coach probably 15 years ago, Dr. Danny Drubin. And he said something. He's like, what else are you going to do? There's people seriously frustrated. Like, I don't even know if I want to do this chiropractic thing anymore. He'd just look at you and be like, what else are you going to do? You took out loans. You went to school for all this time. You have this one piece of paper that allows you to do this one thing. What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do better? Or what else are you going to possibly do that's going to be better than this? And his point was, you've already put in the time, the commitment, and you made the decision to do this. Going back is just a cop-out. It's just you quitting. And that's fine. If you need to throw in the towel and quit, just say, I'm quitting. That's the cleanest thing you can do, is like, I quit. And be honest with yourself and quit. But for the rest of it, what else are you going to do? And that kind of stuck with me. I'm like, stop the bitching and complaining. What else am I going to do? You might as well make this thing work. Yes, there's ups and downs. Yes, I'm grumpy. If you talk to my wife, she'll be like, this guy's the grumpiest freaking business owner you've ever met, because she gets to see all of it. But in all honesty, you go in and you got to make it work. And by making it work means you can be happy in practice. You can be fruitful in practice. You can help a lot of people in practice. You can influence a lot of people, and you can have a lot of support, and you can delegate a lot too, because you can build a team that helps you move forward, and you can help them move forward as well. So don't give up on this stuff when it comes to everything that you do. Here's a chance to make everything that you do 1 or 2% better, scrapping the things you hate. Just get rid of them. Stop doing them. What would happen if you got rid of the things you hate in business and doubled down on the things you love and that worked. Now remember the things that worked. So if you're like, I hate doing new patient exams. Don't scrap that. Please don't scrap the new patient exams. You kind of need to do that. If you hate it, make it more fun. Do what you need to do. If you're techie, get it some tech software. Do Posture Pro or take X-rays or do whatever it is to make it more fun for you, so that you enjoy it and it's more clinical. Or if you do too much and you hate it, maybe do less. Go back to a simple exam and whatever it is. I'm just giving an example. So when you scrap the things or delegate the things that you don't want, here's a chance to really clean up the debris. Here's a chance. And this chance can happen any day. It can be any day. Don't wait for a storm. Don't wait for your business to get hit. Don't wait for a recession. Don't wait for this trouble. If you're unhappy, make the decision now to make that mental change and clean up the debris so that you can rebuild stronger. Your team's going to, once you get rid of debris, you naturally, the people around you rebuild stronger with you without even knowing it. Once you start scrapping things that don't work and you double down on the things that do, your team's like, yes, here we go. This is what we want to do. All those other ideas were great, Dr. D, but they were pretty stupid. Okay, thank you for cleaning this up. Let's go back to what works. Workshops, Facebook, new patients. That's it. Let's just stay there. Let's help them and stick to the things that we do. And you'll notice immediate turnaround in your business. There's always opportunity on the other side of everything that we do, even with hardship and anything that happens. You just want to make sure that whatever's on the other side is a journey that you actually want to take. So whatever you're focusing on in business right now, whatever ideas you have, make sure they're coming from a place of what you enjoy doing rather than just the simple, we got to make more money. When you do the we got to make more money thing, it comes from a sense of lack. It comes from a place of desperation. I'm going to tell you this from experience. It never works out. It never works out. It's only when you reinvest in yourself. The biggest tools that ever really significantly, statistically, I can show year on year, year after year, the spikes that end up happening in 2008 through 2017. My practice in Canada had this constant straight line of 3%. The banks loved me. Every time I asked for money, they're like, this is the perfect textbook business growth. I'm like, really? It's kind of small, 3% growth every year. Like, it's not very much. I'm not noticing much. But they're like, it's consistently growing. As the longer you're in business, the better of a client you are to us. This is fantastic. We'll support you in any way. I'm like, okay. They're like, we hate the roller coasters. We hate the exponential growth. They see it in tech and in restaurants all the time, and they hate it because what ends up happening is there's a startup and then boom, they moonshot right away, quadruple, 10x their business from whatever, 10,000 to 100,000 in a year or 50,000 to $500,000 in a year. The banks hate that because they want to see, okay, well, is this the top of the skyscraper we're at? And now we're lending you at a very high risk for a crash. So that's what ends up happening with this steady growth. And I can tell you the two things I've ever done when I've reinvested in myself is consistent coaching. Consistent coaching was that growth, that continuous 3 to 5% growth every year. That was consistent coaching, keeping me and my anger of needing to work. I thought about this as a chiropractor. I'm like, am I just grumpy being a chiropractor or am I just grumpy, period? And I'm just grumpy. Like if I did any job, my dad did construction. So he'd go out every day in his truck and literally have other people helping him doing concrete or laying tile. I helped him with this stuff too, but he did it day in and day out for 45 years. So I'm like, would I be grumpy doing that? Oh my gosh, would I be grumpy doing labor every single day? Like that would be grumpy. Would I be grumpy being a dentist? Oh my gosh, I would be so grumpy being a dentist. An architect, an engineer, I'd be grumpy going to a desk, sitting, I'm just going to be grumpy. Jerry Seinfeld said this in a Jerry on the Tonight Show. It's probably a year old now, but he was sitting there. He's like, I'm perfectly happy being unhappy. And he was probably being funny in the moment, but it didn't look like it. It looked like he was just saying this. He was telling a story about his family. He's like, I'm perfectly happy being unhappy. And he goes into about vacations and cruises. And he's like, I sit there. I'm like, and my wife always asks me, she's like, are you enjoying yourself? And I'd be like, no, this is kind of stupid. I don't know why we're here. and spending this money. And his wife's like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a grump." He's like, "No, but I'm happy. Like I'm happy. I'm happy being unhappy." I'm like, looked at my wife, and this is probably a month ago. I'm like, "Hey, sweetie, I think I'm just unhappy being. I'm happy being unhappy. This is good. Nothing really excites me. There are some things. I get to take my family. Like 4 months ago, got to go to Greece. That excites me. Got my daughter's heritage, looking at where their grandma grew up, teaching them. I actually felt like I knew something. I was like their tour guide. That stuff makes me happy. Family and stuff that I do have some happiness in me. But the point is, maybe you relate to me right now when I'm speaking of just being grumpy. You just go in, you're grumpy. I think, yeah, it's the same old, same old. You just don't want to deal with people. You appreciate the people that are there with you. I'm going to be honest with you. Super grateful for everyone that works with us as a team. Without them, it's not possible. Never grumpy at them, just at the process of sowing fields for the rest of my life. Thanks God. But that's it. That's the way it is. You just got to sow your fields for the rest of your life. It's just plant them, sow them, harvest them. It's just the way it is. And you got to do something. So being grumpy is just kind of a waste, in all honesty. I'm working on it. But there you go. Hurricane, post-hurricane, storm, business surge, whatever it is that impacts your life and your business, immediately react. Please do not sit back. There are things in life that do stop you. I still have both my parents, but someday I'll get a phone call, and I'm sure that's something that's going to stop me for a few days. But there's things that happen in life that do stop you, and you do need to stop and breathe for a second. Other times, and in most times, most cases, the faster you respond, the better off you are faster. I hope that makes sense. Rebuild as fast as you can. I'm going to get back to helping my community. You guys have a fantastic week. We're going to keep this going every week. Marketing 101 for chiropractors every Friday. Stay well, stay safe, and keep doing what you do. Your community needs you.